I just got through reviewing a Christmas movie, but what's one more? Da 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 da. Why is Oogie singing Jack Skellington's song? Hi, I'm Anthonix Maximus, bitching to you about movies because, yeah, alright, I buckled. I'm gonna review another holiday movie. I had some other ideas come to mind of what I was going to review this year, but one person actually reached out to me. It wasn't even through the comment section. It was actually offline. Reached out to me, true story, and suggested I review this movie, Jingle All the Way. And, I'm not really one to say no. And it is a movie that does need some attention, right? So, yeah, alright, fine. I'll review Jingle All the Way. And by the by, I'm always open to ideas for movies to review, whether it's a holiday movie or any other kind of movie, as long as it fits into my realm of movies that I typically review. That means usually I review things that are nostalgic or superhero-based or cartoon-based or anything from basically the 80s and up. On occasion, you'll see me review something from the 70s. That's more if it's in line with the geek culture that we have today. Yeah, I'm always open to ideas for movies. Don't be shy. Tell me in the comment section or reach out to me on Twitter or even Instagram. The thing about Jingle All the Way, it was a movie that came out in 1996. It was a film for Arnold Schwarzenegger. This film was actually written by Chris Columbus, of course, Home Alone fame. And the inspiration of this film was the real-life events of the Cabbage Patch craze during the 80s, or the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger craze, the Christmas of 1993, where both of these toy lines were actually so popular and high in demand, parents were actually fighting each other to get a hold of them for their kids.
I'll laser every one of you!
And at this time, Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to be in Planet of the Apes. That project was put on a back burner over at Fox. So they had him be put onto the set of Jingle All the Way. I mean, after all, Arnold Schwarzenegger does have a comedic background. He was in Twins, he was in Junior, and he was in Kindergarten Cop. So doing a family film isn't quite foreign to him. Chris Columbus actually suggested Brian Levant be the director for this. We've discussed Brian Levant before. He was the one who directed the Flintstones, a movie I reviewed at the beginning of this year. Brian Levant actually has an interesting history. A lot of great movies and a lot of bad ones. He was also a writer for many shows as well, dating all the way back to Happy Days. And Brian Levant actually directed some great movies of my childhood, like Problem Child 2, Beethoven. Then it started to slip a bit with the Flintstones, and then Jingle All the Way. And then it just got progressively worse. The man directed A Christmas Story 2. Other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tim Allen was considered for the leading role, but he already played a disappointing dad in another Christmas movie, because it's the 90s. The 90s where you are a bad dad and you have to prove yourself right in your child's eyes. Playing the part of Myron is Sinbad, who got the role from Joe Pesci. Chris Columbus wanted Joe Pesci in the film, but Joe Pesci's at 5'3" wouldn't have looked too good next to a towering Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, it worked for Twins, but not for this film, unfortunately. Basically, much of this was filmed in Minnesota. The end of the film was actually filmed in California, and you're gonna find out that, yeah, it's really evident that it was. So let's just get right into this, huh? I got my Christmas milk. Yuck. Jingle All the Way starts with an action scene with Turbo Man and his sidekick Booster. And yeah, it looks very Power Ranger-like. But the way Brian Levant does his credits right in the middle of a show within a show. It's the show within a show called Jingle All the Way. It's just as confusing as the Flintstones movie, where they're watching a movie within a movie, even though some of the plot existed before they went into the drive-in theater. Anyways, I'm going off rails here.
You can always count on me.
And the little boy of the film is played by Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker. The kid, not the moody teenager. You know, it's sad because a lot of Star Wars geeks bullied the hell out of Jake Lloyd for his portrayal of Anakin. Alright, listen up, geeks. Stop beating up on the kids who star in your favorite franchises. Get a life. But if I can get on my high horse for a second, leave the kids alone. Kids are not supposed to be the most excellent actors. That's because they're still developing. So leave them alone. Don't bully Jake Lloyd. Don't bully the little girl from Avengers Endgame. Just stop bothering them. Like, damn. Losers. And a lot of the kid acting is because the directors tell them to act like this. Like, look at Jake Lloyd being overly excited for Turbo Man. Listen, I was a kid once. I had my TV shows like Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, Power Rangers, but I never jumped up and down just like he did. I was very quiet and I sat down and I watched. I didn't overreact, but that's not Jake Lloyd's fault. It's the director's fault. Pretty much it's everyone on set's fault. It's the writer's fault as well. It's because these movies are written by middle-aged men who try to remember their childhood by making the kid actors overact.
But Dad's not home yet. Now he's probably gonna miss me get my belt.
And little Jake Lloyd actually has a karate competition coming up, and let's hope his dad makes it. Do you think he's gonna make it? Remember, it's a 90s movie.
He's probably just working really hard.
You can't do that kind of transition. Oh, your dad is very busy at work, and then it cuts to a party, a Christmas party, just the same way there was a Christmas party in the first Santa Claus movie. Here's the thing, that transition, that quick cut transition does not work, because it would work if the mom, played by Rita Wilson, said, oh, your dad's busy at work, and then it cuts to a Christmas party and actually shows the dad partying. That would be a nudge, nudge, wink, wink type of edit. But it doesn't work here because, as we see, the father actually is working. So it's no longer a funny thing because, unlike his coworkers, Howard is still doing his job. So yes, he is a workaholic.
Because you're our number one customer. My number one customer. You're my number one customer.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
You're my favorite customer.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
The mom is watching little Jake Lloyd do his karate. Uh-oh, he's stuck in traffic. And what's this? Phil Hartman, who plays their neighbor, is trying to get a bit too close. Let's watch.
I baked you some cookies. You know, to thank you for fixing my screen door.
Well, thanks, Judy.
Thanks, Judy, for giving me cookies while I'm trying to record my son. Back the hell off. It is interesting that Phil Hartman is in this movie, considering the fact he's already worked with Sinbad before, with House Guest and also Coneheads. Suffice to say, unfortunately, this was Phil Hartman's last movie. Oh, and look, Howard got in trouble because he was trying to cut off the traffic by going into the shoulder. Take that, white privilege. White Austrian muscle beef privilege. He won a purple belt. Whatever, you can catch him when he wins a black belt. And Phil Hartman's Ted is really trying to move in onto the family by doing all of Howard's housework. Sneaky man. But don't worry, because Howard immediately patches up any misunderstanding with his son with casual racism.
What do you want?
Turbo Man action figure.
And also promising him a Turbo Man doll for Christmas.
You got the doll, right?
I got the Turbo Man doll.
I got the doll. I got the doll. Ugh, I'm sorry, I can't ever do an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Anytime I try to pull off an Arnold Schwarzenegger, I end up sounding like Gooder from Power Rangers. And this sets up the movie because now he has to find the doll.
It's Christmas Eve. You can't be going to the office.
I have to pick up the DOLL.
I wonder if my parents did as much work finding my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I joke, of course, because that first year of Power Rangers, I did get a Red Ranger and a Black Ranger. Then I got the remaining Rangers at like other relatives' houses, and it was actually extended months as well for like my birthday. Yeah, in order for me to get all 5 Power Rangers, I had to wait several months. No wonder why it turned out so bad.
What about the parade?
The parade. I'll be there. I promise.
Great, and now he has to remember to be back for the dumbass parade. Fun fact, in Minneapolis, they actually do have a Christmas parade, but it's actually at night.
I got a Turbo Man for Johnny months ago. It's nestled safely under our tree.
You know, if you think that your neighbor is a threat to your family and you don't like him at all, why would you tell him, of all people, that you still need to pick up the Turbo Man? Come on.
Last minute shopping, huh?
Yeah.
And this is where we meet Sinbad playing Byron.
Millions of dollars on TV advertisement, and then they sit there and use subliminal messages to suck your children's minds out. And then when you get the toy, it breaks and you can't fix it because it's a little cheap plastic.
As a bit of a collector myself, I kind of believe him.
You know what I like to do? I like to walk up in that office, grab one of those guys, and just chuck him.
Oh, okay. See, at first it sounds like something we can side with, but then when he goes on the rant and accidentally starts choking a woman, we're not as much on his side anymore.
Shouldn't wear fur.
Back up, I'm first.
That guy's getting trampled. He's probably gonna die.
Trying to find the Turbo Man doll.
Me too, me too.
Do you have any more in the back?
Now that's some grade A quality customer service. Just laugh right in the customer's face. And you're gonna find this throughout the film that a lot of these people have such balls, like real brass balls, to be laughing in the face of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What do you think is gonna happen? Nothing, because it's a family film, but let's be real. Okay, see, now that's a reaction I expect from Arnold Schwarzenegger. I feel like this movie would have been much better if he actually approached the character as if he was the Terminator. Let me see the action figures, stuff I remember. Okay, X-Men, Generation X, Hercules, Ghost Rider. You know what, aside from X-Men, I didn't really collect the other stuff.
Go upstairs, take a shower. I'll keep an eye on the boys, finish up with the cookies. You deserve it.
This is sad. It's supposed to be Phil Hartman's last role, and he's coming off as a predator. This movie actually sets it up as if Howard is afraid that Ted is going to move in on his family. But there's really no imminent threat because of all the women who are thirsty for Ted. Rita Wilson's character, I'm sorry, I forgot her character's name, is the one who's not interested in him. Really a non-issue here.
Ted?
You may remember me from such movies as
Christmas Ape and Christmas Ape Goes to Summer Camp.
Delivery of Turbo Man at Toy Works. Let's go!
Seriously, where are these shipments coming from? Is it coming from that same boat that was stuck in the canal? Uh-oh. Looks like these two are on a crash course of wackiness. Fun fact. They actually filmed this at the Mall of America. I've been there before. It's cool. It's alright. The rides are there. It's whatever. I think I had more fun when I grabbed a drink at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
The new list price on each figure just doubled.
Okay, alright, these people are psychotic. Not only they double the price on the figure, but also they make the crowd play this game by having the right ball. Whoever gets the correct ball gets to buy a Turbo Man doll. They actually do play these games because it's like my PS5. Took me a year to get it, and I finally did when I was lucky enough to get a special link from Sony to actually purchase it. It's like, yeah, thanks. Thank you for bestowing me the honor of a link to a URL so I can pay for the product that you had promised us a year ago. Thank you. But I'm ranting. Let's go back to the movie.
It's my ball! Randy Key! Randy Key!
Topico. Okay, why is Howard chasing that ball, though? There were many more of those balls bouncing in the store he could have gotten to. But no, we have to go to this scene where a little androgynous girl ends up playing with the ball just so we can set up a scene where it looks like Howard's being a pervert. Uh-oh, Howard. It's a mall Santa that has a Turbo Man doll. You know, something about those eyes. I wonder if he's... Oh my God, is John Belushi actually alive?
I know what you're thinking.
Oh. It's James Belushi. All right, James Belushi, you do one movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Guess you have to be in another one with him.
That'll be 300.
But that's not the real Turbo Man at all.
Well, of course, there's some assembly required.
And yes, it's a family Christmas movie, but it's also an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, so asses are gonna get kicked. But don't worry, there are no real-world physics. It's all gonna be cartoonish. And yet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were not allowed to use their weapons in the second movie. Ooh, not only Arnold gets to fight people, but he also gets to impersonate a police officer.
Hey, buddy. Detective Howard Lang, undercover.
He's our hero.
The parade's gonna start soon. Turbo Man says. Always keep your promises if you want to keep your friends.
Enough of this Turbo Man, okay?
And now Arnold Schwarzenegger is mad at Jamie for being a petulant brat.
You'll never do anything you say you're gonna do. Ever!
Damn you, Howard.
Aw, that is sad. That cost your dad a quarter. And now we have a scene where Howard and Myron reach a common ground talking about their love for their children until things get a little carried away.
I'm just a loser with no future.
Here's to you, Dad.
Well, that's not nice of the movie to show us Jake Lloyd now. And now the radio announced that they could win a Turbo Man doll if they name all the reindeer. So they're running to the station to tell them the names in person. Repetitive. This happens, fails. This happens, fails. Bounce back and forth, every different place, with little shots of the wife and the kid dealing with the neighbor as they're preparing to go to the dumbass parade.
Let me in, I got the answer. Come on.
I got a madman in my studio and, Master Trackstar, it's a homemade explosive device.
All right, the mailman's a psychopath.
Gift certificate. A gift certificate.
Okay, so little fact about me. I studied film, but I also studied radio, and I can tell you for a fact you're supposed to be in full disclosure of everything. Radio stations actually do get in trouble if they try to fake the prize. So you have to say you'll win a certificate for a Turbo Man doll. You can't actually say to win a Turbo Man doll. And it's actually not just restricted to radio stations, it's actually many contests. There was this famous contest that resulted in a lawsuit. At a Hooters, a boss actually said in a contest that one of the employees can win a Toyota. They misconstrued it and played with the wordage. So when one of the Hooters employees won, she didn't actually win a Toyota. She actually won a Toyoda because they screwed around with the wordage of the contest. The employee actually sued that Hooters. If it happened to me, I probably would have been like, what the hell, guys, and then moved on with it because a job is a job. But and she got money out of it, so. Better watch out, the cops are there, including the same officer that pulled Howard over earlier in the film. That officer is actually played by Robert Conrad. You wouldn't know who he is unless I make this connection. He played Jim West in the Wild Wild West TV show, playing the character that Will Smith would play in the Wild Wild West movie.
All right, just stay there. And I'll know if you move because I have the ear of a snake.
But Myron puts the bomb down to get out of the situation.
Sparky, I I was on the bomb squad for 10 years.
Oh, a little bit of a wacky moment with this cop. Let's see, will it be exploding confetti that comes out? Or will it be an empty box? Or maybe a pie will spring out? What kind of wackiness will happen?
That was really a bomb? Just a sick world we live in.
Well, holy shit. Oh, right. We're talking about a Brian Levitt film, so physics mean nothing, and death doesn't exist.
How many years in the bomb squad?
Okay, yeah, he lives, but that doesn't mean you get to mock him. He still got injured.
That son of a...
Oh, he's really tearing up that territory by putting the star up. But don't worry, Howard has his own plan. He's gonna rob Ted. But not if the reindeer has anything to say about it.
Nice doggy.
And the reindeer chases him, and a little blasphemy happens. Liar revealed trope.
Because as far as I know, you got Jimmy his own Turbo Man weeks ago. What it looks like is that you've broken into our neighbor's house and you're stealing presents from under the tree.
Lie revealed trope is where a main character has been lying to everyone and finally has to come out with the truth that he either isn't something or he didn't do something. So as Ted takes Howard's family to the parade, Howard gets drunk with the reindeer.
Hey, Rudolph, can I buy you another round?
The reindeer in this movie is still more dignified than the reindeer in the Santa Claus movies. You know, I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. For a Minnesota parade, it's pretty huge.
And don't go wandering off!
So this is the part I was telling you about where they actually moved the whole entire set and crew and actors to California to finish up this movie. This whole parade scene is actually filmed on the Universal Studio lot. This part of the film was made like mid-July. So everyone had to wear their jackets, and it's California, so it's friggin' hot. In fact, even the fake snow is melting. Why the high five, kids? Like, no one actually gives each other a high five because they see certain characters, especially Cat in a Hat. And a misunderstanding happens when Howard goes into a costume dressing room and they're putting costume parts on him and explaining the aesthetics. Because none of these people do any background check or know who actors are. Yeah, movie logic is so stupid sometimes.
Where the hell have you been?
It's Booger! From those Revenge of the Nerds movies. Or if it helps some of you, he's the voice of Snot from American Dad.
Jeez, I've been sweating like a dog in a Chinese restaurant waiting for your sorry ass to show up.
Good old-fashioned, casual Asian racism. Earlier done by Arnold, and now done by this guy. Ho-ho! Does the fun ever start? Yeah, okay. Alright, it's cool. Yeah, he's now Turbo Man, but it's a marching band and they got a guy on electric guitar. I dig it. Okay, this is a really over-the-top parade float. It kind of reminds me of that Marvel parade float from that 80s Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. If only I was there at that time.
Would you pick a kid already?
Jamie!
Yeah, tell me there's no nepotism here. The actor who's playing the bad guy just got hijacked. I wonder by who? It's by Sinbad. Don't be stupid.
Hey, Myron! Leave the kid alone! Ta-ta, Turtle Man.
And of course the costumes have projectiles.
Hey, Myron! I have a special delivery for you. Huh? Ha!
Why are these costumes able to fire things? And if trained actors were meant to be in the costumes, the discs can ricochet and hit people in the crowd. What the hell? It's a 90s film, so someone's gonna get kicked in the nuts. Seriously, people running the parade, they don't realize something's wrong. They know the actors are acting, as far as they're concerned, but they have to know that the random kid is not really part of the show.
You need a timeout!
It's turbo power!
You know, NASA still is working on a proper jetpack that works very well. But somehow a random Minnesota parade figured it out. That's just bad green screen. And the sad thing is, I know they did that on purpose. They could have made it more realistic of a fall, but it's a Brian Levin film, and he's used to childish type of directing, so I figured they would actually go out of their way to make it look fake.
Come on.
And Howard just killed the mailman. Remember, it's a Brian Levin film. Nobody's gonna die. Oh, get it? It's what the movie was foreshadowing earlier in the film. It's a full circle. Turbo Man, he flies like a moron.
He's mad at me. We had a fight on the phone, and I kinda yelled at him.
And that's where Howard says, "You're right, Jamie. He is disappointed in you. Bye." No, he reveals the truth.
Dad?
Howard?
Many Austrians living in Minnesota, is that what confused you?
We could use a man like you on the force.
I'm sorry about the bike.
Oh, he's listing off all those crazy things and the shenanigans that he put the officer through. No responsibility for anyone.
I had it right here in my hands. What am I gonna tell my son on Christmas morning?
Oh, this is the part where we're supposed to feel bad because now his son won't be able to get a Turbo Man doll. Look, I can't feel bad. The man actually tried to kill a little boy to get the toy. Stop it with the schmaltziness, huh?
Merry Christmas.
Aww.
What do I need the doll for? I got the real Turbo Man at home.
You son of a bitch, after what he went through, you're taking the doll back. And really, Jamie should have just kept the doll because you know what they're going to do? They're not going to let that doll go to Byron's son. They're probably going to want to hold on to the doll for, like, evidence. And this is the magical part where Howard assures his son that he's going to always be there by leaving his family behind as the crowd carries him away. Probably carrying him to jail for all the crimes that he did.
Christmas came. No weenie whistle.
And you would think that's the end, but no, there's actually a post-credit scene.
What did you get me?
Uh-oh, sequel? Or divorce? Jingle All the Way, box office bomb. Number 4 at the box office, right behind Star Trek First Contact, Space Jam, and Ransom. It made $129 million on a $75 million budget. I mean, that's good, not really worth it, but it did get a following in popularity years to come. So much so that they had the audacity to make a sequel to it, Jingle All the Way 2, which is really just an in-name only sequel, starring Larry the Cable Guy. Just like Larry the Cable Guy did a sequel to The Tooth Fairy, because if you want to ruin your franchise, butcher it, just call Larry the Cable Guy. I've covered my Christmas quota, my holiday quota. We still have to think about New Year's Eve coming up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Anthonix Maximus reviews. I'm Anthonix Maximus. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays. Wink.
You want a Turbo Man for Christmas?
Forget it, I'm not gonna sit in your lap.